Remains were recently found near this cemetery at Tom Brown Park. Now the question is, where does the community go from here? I'm Brieanna Smith, your Northeast Tallahassee neighborhood reporter, where I'm asking community leaders, historians, and even family members that question. One of the best places to start a small business is right here in Florida. I'm Brieanna Smith in the downtown Tallahassee neighborhood. I learned why the Sunshine State earned this title and what it means for neighbors here in the Big Bend. As hurricane season approaches, officials from local to national services are encouraging preparedness. But inflation has the prices of essential items on the rise. I'm Brieanna Smith in the Northwest Tallahassee neighborhood, and I'm taking a trip to the store exploring how much you should expect to pay this season. Sometimes when I edit in rural places like Miccosukee, Wi-Fi can be hard to come across. So imagine how it is for people who live in this community. I'm Brieanna Smith, your Northeast Tallahassee neighborhood reporter. I'm exploring a new project designed to give these neighbors more access to internet. Natural hair is a large part of Black culture and expression. I'm Brieanna Smith, your Northeast Tallahassee neighborhood reporter, where a new bill could help protect those who sport the look from discrimination. I'm learning what the bill could mean for neighbors across the state of Florida and here in Tallahassee. Dozens walk through Tom Brown Park daily, but most people don't know about this small cemetery along an off-beaten path on the Lafayette Heritage Trail. Friday, bone fragments and casket remains were found in the area, prompting an investigation from the local medical examiner's office and State Division of Historical Resources.
My daughter and her husband love to bike and walk, so I would get them out here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I met Lena Kilpatrick Harris, one of the few living links to this small cemetery. 3 of the 4 graves belong to members of the Kilpatrick family who lived from the mid to late 1800s to the early 1900s. Records posted to findagrave.com show headstones for J.W. and Mariah Kilpatrick, a husband and wife, and their son Walter Kilpatrick, Lena's grandfather.
Reverend Joe and his wife, Mariah. Really, there was not too much of anything that was told to me other than being minister and how he cared a lot for his family. So, it's Holy Bible that he had.
Historian Delatry Hollinger says he discovered J.W. ministered for 4 years in Tallahassee and Jefferson County, founding the Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church.
So he obviously was a very prominent citizen here in Leon County. It's worth noting that the site where the remains were found is actually a distance away from those marked graves, which tells me that the boundaries of the cemetery are expansive.
But it's still a mystery how the Kilpatricks ended up buried in the area. The city of Tallahassee says that the land was federally owned. In 1977, it was dedicated as Tom Brown Park, managed and maintained by the city of Tallahassee.
All I know is that it was mentioned that they were somewhere in this area, and no one could find the graves.
I reached out to the Florida Department of State, who says the local medical examiner is leading the investigation since the remains weren't found on state-owned land. But the department will be present to provide guidance if requested from the examiner or the city of Tallahassee. Lena is hoping to find the answers for her family, ultimately wanting the site to be preserved as a historical site, along with Hollinger.
It's part of the family and part of the history that we have been searching for, looking for a long time. And this will kind of like, I guess, close that desire to know where their remains are.
It's a conversation we visited last year.
The board is kept out of the loop.
The price of blueprint projects and transparency, leading Commissioner David O'Keefe to not support the agency's budget another year, doubling down on increasing transparency and bringing power back to the board.
This meeting was the first year where my questions actually raised the issue that so many of my colleagues started realizing they have to question.
According to records O'Keefe obtained, gateway projects are taking the bulk of funding, some increasing by about $100 million from initial costs, and up about $13 million total from 2025.
The Northeast Gateway is up 400%.
Max Epstein says it's been an issue he's been speaking on for years.
What is going up is inflating to these costs. They will not even disclose to the public where these increased costs come from because they say there's no paperwork, there's no spreadsheets, no budgets available to show the public.
According to Blueprint's director, these prices can rise with inflation, unforeseen circumstances, and design updates.
The ultimate cost of a project really isn't determined until that ribbon is cut at the very end, because during the project itself, you have different elements that may come into play, unforeseen conditions within the project itself that cost dollars.
Did you feel like you got the answers at the last blueprint meeting as to why these prices are rising? Did you feel like you got the answers to make you feel, I guess, better about these increases, if that makes sense?
No.
O'Keefe says he's afraid it will take money away from other projects like Tharp Street.
There have been several fires in the past couple months where the fire departments could not get enough water there. And that's a major issue.
Miccosukee volunteer fire and rescue firefighters have to travel further to fill tankers with water.
This was my Eagle flyer that I gave out to people.
But that's about to change thanks to 14-year-old Piper Fessler, a Life Scout for Boy Scout Troop 118G, trying for her Eagle Scout rank.
I thought, what better way than to help this area that has very limited access to fire hydrants, go and help them make sure that no one's lives or possessions are lost in a horrible fire that might happen.
Her solution, using the department's old truck whose water tank still works and permanently installing it at its Heatherwood station. It'll add an additional 3,000 gallons to the fire station's total water storage capacity.
I had to call, get quotes from people. Besides the actual workday, just laying the gravel, getting everything set up for and prepared for the truck.
John Kaufman, a project advisor and department volunteer, says Piper's project is needed. The nearest fire hydrant 7 miles away.
Right now, especially with the drought, there's no lakes to pull from.
He says increased access to water can boost ISO ratings, eventually lowering insurance.
Moving this tanker to the northeasternmost station in Leon County adds another 3,000 gallons that not just the volunteers can pull from, but Tallahassee Fire Department can also pull from.
So it's deeper than just, the Eagle Scout.
Yes, it definitely is. I think an Eagle Scout project should definitely be more about your community than just the requirement.
Now you can already hear the protesters in the background making their demands. They're planning to do that over the next couple of hours. I did get a statement from a university spokesperson who says that the university is unaware of any ICE activity on campus and that it is committed to supporting all students, but they must follow state and federal laws. Live in College Town, Brieanna Smith, ABC 27. Communities all over the country are participating in demonstrations, including here in Tallahassee at the state capitol. Now, it's for the National Day of Good Trouble, and it honors the late Congressman John Lewis. I was at FAMU earlier today exploring the local efforts here for the day. Well, like you said, Ryan, I am at the Tallahassee International Airport, where they've already got the welcome signs out to welcome the last remaining athletes participating in the World Athletic Cross Country Championships. Now, I am still watching that corner. I have not seen anyone come by yet, but of course, when they do, I will update you guys on that. Well, that's great, Ryan. Well, speaking of nature, speaking of the environment, the city of Tallahassee is one step closer to its goal of 100% cleaner energy. Now, on Sunrise, I'll tell you how a grant is helping them tip the scales in their favor. That was a big shock for me. But the big story this morning takes us to Gadsden County. After the school principal was reassigned, parents raised their concerns, but unfortunately, those concerns are still unanswered. Neighborhood reporter Lynthius Cheney made the trip. Here's what he learned.